Attorney General Garland was pushed by Senator Cruz about the violence at pro-life pregnancy centers. Why aren't there people devoted to figuring out who firebombs these crisis pregnancy centers and threatens these crisis pregnancy centers? They do it under the banner of Jane's Revenge. How unified is that group? Why has the FBI not got a task force on it? Bite 27, take a listen.
Why do you send 24 agents in body armor to arrest a sidewalk counselor who happens to be pro-life, but you don't devote resources to prosecute people who are violently firebombing crisis pregnancy?
It is a priority of the department to prosecute and investigate and find the people who are doing those firebombings. They are doing it at night and in secret. And we have found one group which we did prosecute.
You found one. How many have there been? How many attacks?
There have been a lot. And if you have any information specifically as to who those people are.
This is the Attorney General of the United States in charge of the FBI who is saying, hey, they do these at night. What do you want us to do here? This is the guy that says, all I know is they're doing it at night, so it's hard to do it. The others do it during the day. So and what are they doing during the day? They're handing a piece of literature to a woman seeking access to an abortion clinic. What are they doing at night? Blowing the buildings up that house pro-life crisis pregnancy centers.
And I think, he then asked Ted Cruz for information to those people. Right there when he did that, you realize the Department of Justice could care less about those pro-life pregnancy centers. In fact, they would like them destroyed. I'm not saying they want people
the guy
injured.
They arrested with 27 FBI agents was acquitted by a jury because they couldn't prosecute him.
Yeah. You want to laugh in his face, but it is very serious to say that the FBI cannot prosecute the crimes because the attacks on pro-life centers typically take place at night. What a ridiculous statement to make. I can't prosecute the crime because it occurred in the nighttime. What does that have to do? Most of these carjackings, most of these burglaries are nighttime crimes. Murders, nighttime crime. Does that mean that we do not have the capability in the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation to prosecute anybody after 7 p.m. at night because we can't tell who they are? This is silly. And it's absurd for the Attorney General of the United States to make a remark like that. And as Jordan pointed out, and I want to say this, him asking Senator Cruz, if you've got any information about where they are and what they are and what they're doing, you tell me. That's not a United States Senator's responsibility.
Josh Hawley pressed the Attorney General as well. Let's take a listen.
You are the Attorney General. Give me your answer. Do you think that it was objectively reasonable and they followed your guidelines in sending 20 to 30 armed agents to terrorize these people? Yes or no?
The facts I have, which are those presented by the FBI, are not consistent with your description.
So you think it was reasonable?
I'm saying the facts are not as you describe.
What, that the children weren't there? That there weren't long guns there? That there weren't agents? What do you dispute? What's the factual premise you dispute?
FBI
Be specific.
Said they don't agree with your description of...
Be specific. They don't agree with what?
Of how many agents, of the agents who were there, and of what their roles were. They don't agree.
Do you know the jury in this case acquitted Mr. Houck? So I'm sure you're aware. Do you know how long it took him?
I am aware, and we respect the decision of the jury.
Do you know how long it took him?
I don't know.
1 hour. 1 hour.
A guy is acquitted after a federal grand jury, after he gets indicted by a federal grand jury. The case is tried by their lead Free Access to Clinic Entrances Act lawyer that handles abortion clinics, and he's acquitted, Andy, in 1 hour. I mean, that means the jury goes back. Basically, they do their...
They have to pick their foreperson. That took about 35 minutes.
Yeah, and then they said... Guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. Thank you. Bye. We're done.
The big mistakes that people make in the FBI nowadays is when you offer to surrender your client. No, they want to make a big show. They want to go there with the manacles and the handcuffs and the leg irons, and they want to put these people who are pro-life in shackles and drag them to the courthouse down the middle of Peachtree Street in Atlanta, for example, bring them into the courthouse when they are the absolute most docile people in the world who do not engage in any violent activity so that they can make a showing to the woke left that we're going to really prosecute these people and we're going to show you the power of the FBI.
There's no outrage even at the top to say this is wrong. This should never have happened. This is escalating a situation. Anytime you bring out guns, and you know what, I don't like saying this about the FBI, but you know what I think they want in these situations? An incident to occur.
You
that they can then blame
the pro-life
activists. So he sees all these people with guns. He's defending his family. some violence occurs, and then it's the pro-life activist attacking the FBI.
I've defended these free access to Clinic Entrances Act cases. I have challenged them in court. We have fought aggressively on federal laws that try to limit free speech and protests outside of abortion clinics. We're handling one right now at the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit. So we're at the ACLJ. We are front and center on all of this.